Hey everybody, welcome back to House of Grey Rabbit. I am your host, as always, Grey Rabbit 80, and with me, as normal, Primetime.
How y'all doing?
Today we have quite a movie for you. This time, it's my turn.
So what do we got?
A little Roger Corman going on. It also goes by the name Killbots in certain countries, but we like to call it Chopping Mall. So, without further ado, let's dive in to this week's experiment, Chopping Mall.
Take me to your leader.
Take me to your supervisor.
I do.
Chopping Mall's it's just Chopping Mall. There's hard to say good stuff about it, there's hard to say bad stuff about it, really.
And what's funny is that the estimated budget is $800,000.
$800,000.
Which was probably done on the robots.
Guaranteed done on the robots with that amount of money. Let's first explain, and once again, let's go into the plot.
Yeah, then we'll get to
what little there is.
Yeah, it's not a very big plot, people.
You know what this is? This is a special episode of House of Grey Rabbit, where we take a look at Chopping Mall. Here's the plot. 8 main characters, not counting 3 to 4 to maybe 5 or 6 extras, because this whole thing takes place in a mall overnight. A group of friends decide that they're going to have a party. They're going to spend the night in the mall inside a furniture store. To help out two of their nerdy friends, they decide to introduce them to each other.
You bastards were going to be trouble when I first brought you in here.
These 8 characters are basically hanging out in a furniture store. 6 of them are having sex, and 2 of them are watching a Roger Corman movie.
What a coincidence, huh?
This mall, however, has just been outfitted with these security robots. These security robots from the future. They are like, I said it before, they remind me of, like, ED-209 had little fat kids.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Just like Short Circuit, which happened to come out the same time this movie did. Lightning strikes the building, causes the robots to go insane, and they begin to kill people one by one. One of the girls gets her head blasted off.
Which is sad because she is shot by laser beams 3 times before that, and it doesn't seem to hurt that much, but one shot to the head and boom.
We have one guy got his throat slit while he was trying to buy cigarettes for the girl.
Yeah, maintenance guy got electrocuted.
Yeah.
It was a shocking situation.
Are the puns just going to become more and more with you the more movies we watch?
Yes.
For the next, hour and a half, this movie is basically just a Wile E. Coyote cartoon. They're trying to blow up the robots, or the bullets don't work, and they know bullets don't work, but yet they're trying to shoot them with guns and everything. And finally, one by one, they take out the robots, but it basically costs everybody their life except for the 2 geeks. And that's it. I've given you the entire premise of the plot of Chopping Mall, and it probably only took me, a minute and a half?
And the movie was an hour and a half?
Yes. You go first. I've got my own 2 cents now.
Well, you have the 8 supposed to be teenagers, which...
Yeah.
2 are married, which is interesting because it said teenagers. Okay. They just got married, apparently. They put all their money into a work truck. The 2 that are being set up.
You have the blonde airhead and the guy who wants to be Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, who chews gum.
Who chews gum all the time.
I'm Mr. Badass.
What I always called the straight couple. They're just the blonde and the dark-haired guy who are just in love.
Yeah.
But they all look like they're 27.
Yeah.
I understand that they're supposed to be young.
But they're all in their 20s to 30s. What's funny about it is that if you look on IMDb, it talks about the gas cans being completely empty on every one of them except for,
Well, you got to explain that a little further. So there's a point where the girls get the gas cans from the hardware store to make Molotov cocktails. But hardware stores don't sell gas cans full of gas.
Yeah.
They sell empty gas cans.
But, the one girl did make a good shot out of all of them. They're all shooting at a gas can, and the one girl grabs a gun, just does one shot, and they're like, good shot.
Well, throughout the entire movie, this girl that we're speaking of one-shots things. Like, she tosses her cup over her, like, behind her when they're on the couch watching the movie, and it lands in the thing, and he says, nice shot.
Yeah.
Then she does that, nice shot. And then she does a nice shot like 3 or 4 other times, and then in the end, she's the one that blows up the last one, and he says, nice shot. I've seen Chopping Mall before. I actually own this copy of Chopping Mall. Chopping Mall was one of the first times, like, I grew up without being able to watch horror movies. When I found them in my teens, it went rampant. Like, I watched everything. And we used to, like, rent all types of stuff and watch stuff like Evil Toons, like, all the sleepaway camps, the Friday the 13th, everything. Leatherface. Like, we're ingrained in that whole 80s and 90s subculture. When I first rented this movie, I actually watched this movie hoping, like, man, this is going to be good. This movie's going to be good. But the problem with Chopping Mall is, like I said, it's just a Wile E. Coyote cartoon for like an hour and 30 minutes. And there's no cast. There's 8 people, 2 of which you know are going to survive, and that's the geeks, just because they just fell in love, and we know that keeps you from dying.
Yeah.
It's thin. It's hard to have fun with, and it's hard to make fun of due to the fact that there's just not a lot to work with.
Yeah, because like you said, you have the 8 main characters, then you have the main guy, the 2 guys who are the scientists, and then you have the other 2 main guys who leave before the place closes because they know it's about to close. So that's it. I mean, that's, you don't have a big enough cast. It's like you said, normally in horror movies, you always have enough people to cover to where there is always extras.
Well, if you're going to have something where you have a creature or you have something bad or evil that's killing off people, you're going to want to keep that guy stocked.
Yeah.
With things to do. And with Chopping Mall, it just kind of falls short because there's only 6 main characters that get killed. Plus, like you said, the janitor.
Yeah.
Plus the 2 technician scientist guys.
Yeah, which they died.
Real quick at the beginning.
Real quick, yeah.
I don't know. There's inconsistencies in a lot of things. Yeah. And most of the time it's exactly what can these things do and what they can't do. Like, the briefing in the beginning says that they have sleep darts, but only one time do they use the sleep darts, and then they kill the guy by slitting his throat after that. So I don't know why the sleep dart was even used in the beginning, except to incapacitate him where they could use a sleep dart. Like, there's no reason for that. And then they have a couple of things like the deadly grappling hook thing they took the one technician out with. Yeah. Like, that was never even spoke of when they were talking about their specifications. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, I can say this. They were thrown out of this mall. A lot of times when you work in movies with malls, especially like Dawn of the Dead, stuff like that, they allow them to film after hours, and that's why a lot of the stuff takes place at night. But then they have to get out and be completely cleaned up.
Before the place opens.
Right. And they blow stuff up all the time in this movie. I mean, there are numerous times where fires are set, windows are smashed, storefronts are just broken down. I mean...
Yeah, they spent 20 days total doing this movie. Half of it, which was in the mall, and then the other half at his studio because of the whole...
Which I'm sure, some of the biggest destruction was done at his studio.
Yeah.
But there are some scenes when they're obviously in the mall.
Yeah.
And I feel for the people who owned the place and had to clean up after them. I really do.
And there's one point in the movie where the main girl who lives at the very end, to get into the hardware store, instead of breaking it with, breaking the door with glass with, a hammer or something, she physically breaks it with her body. And she just barely bumps into it and it breaks. It's like, but then again,
But again, remember, how do we get in? I got the keys.
Yeah.
It's really hard to come off a really funny, fun film like Hard Rock Zombies or Thanksgiving. Well, just Thanksgiving 1.
Yeah.
It's hard to come off these movies that are real fun to watch, that we can make so much fun of, and then see something that's bad, but on a different level.
Yeah.
Like, this one is this review kind of comes off as serious, like we've laughed and stuff in it, but like, it's not that we don't like this movie or that it's like, oh my god, it's unwatchable. It's just hard to really deal with.
And hard to explain.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough stuff in the movie to really talk about it.
It's all flash and no substance is what we're trying to say. And that's unfortunate.
Yes.
Now, what's you going to rate it, Prime?
I'll say 3 because I like the robots.
I can see that. 3 for the robots. I'll give you 3 for the robots. Because there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
I'll give you 3 for the robots because there's 3 of them. And that's
And
all.
they're actually, they actually did a really good job with the robots.
Yeah, and these robots have appeared in another movie or two, and we won't go into all the details or anything, but they have appeared in some other stuff. They were made quite quickly, quite cheaply, but like I said, most of the budget went for them.
Yeah.
Like I said, 3 for robots because there's 3 robots. So now that we've given our rating and everything, I do want to say a couple of shout-outs to some people who did some comments and made some comments for us. I want to give a shout-out to Ron for his comment. He actually gave us the name of the band in Hard Rock Zombies, and that was Silent Rage.
Silent Rage, yes.
Silent Rage. I also want to thank Jedi002, who asked the pertinent question, where do we come up with all these bad movies? Question mark. The bad movie verse? Question mark. So now I have a theory about where all bad movies come from. At the same time, I want to give everybody a big hand for subscribing. Yes. We are up to 15 subscribers as of today, as of this taping. And at the same time, also the Third Rock's getting up there. Like, it's like, I think it's 249 today. 246. 246. We may have to go check that because I thought I saw 249. But it's okay. Because when we hit 300, we're throwing a party.
And we're going to have a special video.
A Werewolves of the Third Reich party. Dun-dun-dun. So anyway, thank you guys for coming on this experiment with us this week. As always, if you have seen a Chopping Mall, if you go out and buy Chopping Mall, sometimes you can just come across Chopping Mall when you're not really expecting it. But if you have, or if you're going to, remember, leave us a comment down below telling us something about the video, or what you liked about the movie, what you didn't like about the movie.
And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do it.
Hit the bell if you want to be notified when we have a new video. And as always, punch that like button right in the face.
And if you have any movies that you want us to watch or have any suggestions, just let us know. You can either put it in the comments below, or we both also put this on Facebook. Let us know what you think about the videos, if you have any suggestions.
There's just too much at this point to edit together or not. So, this is House of Grey Rabbit. This has been Chopping Mall, and we will be seeing you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.